Alright, welcome back. This is going to be our final video for Unit 7 on air pollution. And in this in this section, we're going to be talking about noise pollution. Something you probably don't think too much about when we think about air pollution, but this is a major concern. Noise pollution is basically just sound at a high enough level to cause physiological stress and hearing loss. There are multiple sources of sound pollution or noise pollution, including from living close to an from a plane path, an air path, working in a factory that has high volume machinery, or working in industries that use very loud machinery. So transportation, construction, and domestic and industrial activity. Now, these are just some of those levels that can show you where you get noise-induced hearing loss. There are many different exposure limits that we consider. For every 3 decibels over 85 decibels, the safe exposure time is reduced by half. So it's important that as you get louder and louder, it's an exponential curve of how much more unsafe it becomes. So 10 decibels would be leaves rustling. A whisper would be right between about 25. Quiet office is about 40. So these are safe areas. As we get louder, noisy traffic or loud traffic in a noisy restaurant, maybe Mr. Cope in class, pretty loud, like a mower. If you're in a pit of the orchestra, if you have no earplugs, it's considered for 1 hour is where you would get that daily exposure limit. There are also, going to a rock concert without earplugs, you're basically going to have 7 seconds before you're going to find your daily exposure limit reached, and about a little less than 12 minutes before you actually can get hearing loss, long-term hearing loss. And that's why most of the professions that require the use of some of this equipment requires for ear protection. So this is just another example of that sound level and how long it can be safe. And remember that is very, exponential in a negative form. I can't think of the term for it right now, but I guess it is exponential. Basically, for every little bit of increase in decibels, you're going to lose about half of the amount of time allowed per day at a safe level, or where it's considered to be a safe level. So what was the loudest sound recorded in history? Well, it was the sound made by the Krakatoa volcanic eruption in 1883, and it was so loud that it actually ruptured eardrums of people 40 miles away. It traveled around the world 4 times and was clearly heard 3,000 miles away. And there are 2 articles here just to give you the sources on those. Check them out if you get a chance. Some of the harmful effects of noise exposure in children: there can be cognitive, physical, and behavioral concerns. And this is why it's important that we reduce our noise pollution, especially for children and young people. As far as other organisms go, it can cause stress. It can also mask the sounds that they use to communicate or hunt. It can damage their hearing and make changes to their migratory routes. So noise pollution for animals is very, very concerning because it does, in fact, harm their ability to survive naturally. So marine animals are actually especially affected because we use sonar, where we use sound waves to help with traveling and understanding where things are. And the reason it's more of a concern for marine life is because sound essentially travels farther through water. This is a case study here of dolphins that struggle against noise pollution because of underwater pile driving, which causes an alarm response in squid. There have been an ocean uproar. Ship engines, underwater blasts, sonar, and oil drilling are all causing more and more sound. And so this is actually the sound of ships drowning out whale calls, so we'll listen to it. Hopefully the sound sounds fine for you guys. I should probably turn my sound up, huh? Here we go. as you can tell from that sound, it is pretty distressing for those marine wildlife as that ship kind of comes by, and you can hear so much noise pollution in the ocean. You could probably hear my dogs barking in the background as well. They were bothered by the sounds too. We're not going to listen to them now. And that does bring us to the end of our Unit 7 notes. Remember, if you have any questions on any of these topics, please shoot me an email, ask in class, because I want to make sure you guys get the concepts. So hopefully we'll be able to practice some of this information and see some of this information in our own real world around us. Thanks again.